Breaker, breaker, man. Is anybody receiving? Over.
Roger 10-4 Renbob, I am receiving. What's your 20? Over.
Breaker, roger, man. I'm just doing a bit of fishing at the lake. Over.
Roger that, Renbob. We got a bit of a bad line. Did you say you were racing? Over.
1069 negative, man. I said I'm doing a bit of fishing, man. I need a bit of gas money because my trip from hyperspace actually was kind of expensive, man. I want to sell some bass at the marketplace. Over.
Roger that, Bob. That's some pretty noisy fishing. Over.
Yeah, man. The water's kind of rough today. Over.
Uh-huh. Roger that. Over.
Anyway, man, I was supposed to help Brother Green build some stuff with the Hippy Commune today, but I'm gonna be fishing for the rest of the afternoon. Over.
That's received. I hope those fish aren't too speedy for you, Bob. Over.
I see what you did there. That's freaking hilarious, man. But seriously, this is kind of a serious situation, man. I need a bit of gas money for the van, so I was hoping you could help me build something over there at the Hippy Commune today. Over.
Roger that and received, Bob. I'll see what I can do for you, and good luck with your fishing. Over.
Roger that, Brother Ren. Thanks for your help, man. Oh, it looks like I got a big one on the line, man. I gotta go. Over and out.
Welcome back, my fellow hippies from all over the world, to our sprouting hippie commune, where it looks like Brother Green has been hard at work cultivating a glorious forest boundary between us and Area 77. And I gotta say, man, this is absolutely beautiful. Brother Green's even loaded up our boombox with some epic 70s tunes to crank up the peace and harmony around here. It's gonna help us a lot today, guys, because we've been tasked by Renbob, who is fishing, to build something here and continue the expansion of the commune. Green and I have spent a ton of time figuring out exactly what we're going to be doing with this hippie community, and this week we're focusing on getting some protection up for our peace-loving society, which Green has done brilliantly with this new canopy wall, and we're also going to be working on turning this place into a functioning base for the hippies that are going to live here. And yes, there are going to be actual hippies living here, my dudes. But more on that a bit later. So last episode, Renbob answered the call of the hippie horn and bounced his way into the commune from hyperspace. And today, we're going to help Renbob build a 100% vegan-compliant vegetable farm for this place, so we can put Renbob to work in the fields, and hopefully he can start selling 100% organic, hand-picked veggies to our fellow hermits, at vegan organic prices, of course. I've chosen a spot for our vegan farm just behind the RVs over here, but unfortunately, as usual, we've plonked all our building supplies and beacon directly in the freaking waste. So give me a few minutes to get this place cleared up and ready so that we can start building our commune's very first working farm, which will also hopefully make the man over at Area 77 realize that there's nothing suspicious going on out here. Nothing suspicious at all. Pfft, fishing. Honestly, Renbob. Good news, Cyberdogs, I found a very excellent place to put all of my shulker boxes, and this pretty much guarantees that I will not be putting my storage in the way of my builds, which is something I always seem to do on this server. Anyway, I've stashed all of my stuff down here in this massive cave, and this has actually been dug out by Grian over the last week or so. We're directly underneath the vans right now, and Area 77 is in that general direction over there. This massive cave is in fact a prelude, I suppose, to some of Green and I's plans for the hippie commune. And I've got some more good news. My friends have been making some fairly decent progress out here on our very first vegetable farm. As you can see, been laying down a couple foundations here, and this farm is going to be sitting directly along the path from the main campsite. Now, I know this doesn't look like much right now, guys, but I'm actually kind of excited about this build because we're going to be making a crop farm in a very different way here in the hippie commune. You know, usually when you are creating a farm, you'll set up a couple of rows of water like this, plant plant your crops on the side, and that is basically what the average Minecraft farm looks like, right? This farm, though, is not your average farm. This is going to be a vegan-friendly, 100% organic vegetable farm. So what does that mean? Well, basically, every single vegetable that we are going to be producing here in the Hippy Commune is going to be harvested manually by the hands of Renbob. That's right, we're going to get that hippie to earn his keep around here, man. He can't spend his days fishing at the lake. It's unreasonable. And of course, to complement that, Renbob's vegetable farm is going to be as organic as possible. So we don't have straight lines of crops. We're not using machines to harvest our wheat up in this business. Oh no, we have no pesticides, none of that jazz. Every single beetroot, carrot, potato, or bit of wheat will be hand-picked by Renbob, and each of those tasty vegetables is of course going to be grown in as natural a way as possible. So instead of having perfectly straight water and crop lines like you might find in an industrial vegetable farm, the Renbob organic plantation is going to be following a much more natural design, right? And of course, all of this water needs to come from somewhere, and I had a kind of cool idea about building up a little bit of a mountain over here, maybe a very small hill, I guess, and from within this hill, we have some beautiful, naturally occurring spring water flowing out of this sort of mountainside, and that spring water is going to be feeding the Renbob plantation, and all of that water will eventually end up in the ocean over here. I'd love to make a sort of rapid here, right? A little bit of a waterfall situation or something. I think that could turn out really, really nicely. Now, of course, I still have an absolute ton of work to do to get this farm finished today, guys, so I thought we could kick into a bit of fast forward action for the next part of this episode, and while we're watching some awesome time-lapse footage, let's have a chat about this very not suspicious build that is popping up in the Hippy Commune, and more specifically about Green and I's plans to take this Hippy Commune forward and how we're going to be dealing with Area 77. Okay, so let's take a few minutes to talk about what this whole Hippy Commune project is all about and what the plans are over the next few weeks or so. Of course, the story so far is that Green has summoned Renbob to come and help him get his time machine back from Area 77. Renbob, of course, could not resist the call of the Hippy Horn, and he has asked me to help him out here because, well, he's not much of a Minecrafter. Now, Green's time machine is currently under lock and key in Area 77. It's going to be kind of hard for us to get it back, but Green and I have come up with a very sneaky strategy that might just be crazy enough to get Green's time machine back in his hands. Now, I don't want to give away too many details in this episode, of course, because we don't want to give the boys over at Area 77 any idea of what is going on, but Green and I's basic strategy is as follows. We have figured out a really sneaky plan to get the time machine back, but in order for that plan to actually work, we are going to need to create an ultimate distraction. This distraction is absolutely vital because we don't want Doc and Scar to think that there's any funny business going on over here in the Hippy Commune. Area 77 has some pretty good surveillance technology, and my hope is that when Doc sends his satellite over here to have a look at what the hippies are up to, he's gonna see absolutely no funny business whatsoever. We've got some camper vans, a fireplace, some music blaring. Renbob and the hippies are gonna be spending most of their days farming those beautiful vegetables to sell at the marketplace, and to the untrained eye, there's absolutely nothing suspicious going on around here. Meanwhile, ReNDoG and Green are working on a very covert operation to get the time machine back, and if all of these plans come together, my friends, that time machine will be back in the hands of Green, and Area 77 won't even see it coming. And thus, Cyberdogs, our grand plan is revealed. A totally covert retrieval mission masked by the appearance of total hippie normality on the surface above. And that, my friends, is all I can say for now. You know what, Cyberdogs? There's no better feeling in Minecraft than when a build comes together. Am I right? And you know what? I've been having so much fun today working on this. It's a sort of micro project which is very different to the Speedy Pines Raceway that I've been working on for the last few weeks, and it's kind of nice to just focus on some details and spend a bit of time making things look really beautiful in this wonderful game. And I made some really excellent progress around here. All these crops looking juicy, looking tasty, baby. And we're not going to be doing any bone mealing of any of these crops. Every single bit of food that we get out of this farm is going to be hand-picked by Renbob. And hopefully there's some hermits on the server willing to buy some organic product. Because yeah, Renbob's going to be working his hippie butt off out here. And speaking of the Speedy Pines Raceway, my dudes, I am mega excited to show you the insane amount of progress that I've made out there since the last episode. That's coming next up in this video, but for now, we still have a little bit of work to do here at Renbob's veggie farm, and I want to start building a bit of a wall around the entire thing. Now, there's a couple of reasons why I'd like to build this wall over here, guys. Firstly, Grian has made an absolutely magnificent forest all the way around the camper vans. And of course, in that forest are a large number of woodland creatures that would love to get their chompers around these juicy carrots. So we need a wall to keep the squirrels out, if you know what I'm saying. But the more realistic reason why we need a wall, guys, is because this wall is going to help frame our build when you are inside, right? If we have a look at the farm from this direction, it feels a little bit, I don't know, disjointed, I suppose, because the farmland just connects over there to the hills. But if we have a look at the farm from this side, that wall helps to create a framing, so to speak. It really helps to make this area look like it's a farm. So I think the wall's a pretty important thing to get up. And of course, we need to get a bunch of lighting out here. And we need to figure out a way for Renbob to store all of the awesome crops that he's going to be harvesting out of this place on a daily basis. So still a little bit of work to go, guys. But man, we be cooking with gas out here today, baby. Well, I gotta say, Cyberdog's Renbob's farm has turned out absolutely amazingly in the end, and while I've probably spent way too many hours on the details for this bad boy, I am very proud of how it's turned out. In fact, I was just talking to Azuma about how important details are in Minecraft. You know, details are the things that can take your builds from being just the same old build that 1,000 people have made to something really, really special. And I think we've cooked up something very tasty out here that hopefully Brother Grian is going to like too, and hopefully is going to turn out to be an excellent distraction for the boys over at Area 77. Now, because there are so many little details in this build, guys, I'd like to take a few minutes to go through all of the awesome little things that I've added to Renbob's 100% organic veggie farm. And after that, we'll jump over to the Speedy Pines Raceway. But I tell you what, let's go into full immersion mode, starting from the main campsite here at the vans. And every morning, Renbob's going to wake up and come and do a little bit of harvesting at his veggie farm. We've got the banners showing us that this is indeed a hippie build, and as we come through, this is the glorious farm where Renbob is going to be toiling away under the hot sun. We've got an area over here for Renbob to store all of the crops, and as we move further into the farm, we can see some really nice little details here. Of course, we are using these campfires that you put out with a water bucket to create a bit of a wooden walkway, which I think works absolutely beautifully in this build. We're using the lantern, of course, because it's way better than the torch, and I think it matches the build really nicely. What farm would be amiss without a scarecrow, of course? There is Doc M, scaring away the squirrels and the pigeons from Renbob's juicy crops. And if you have a look at the way that I've laid this farm out, we do actually have quite a traditional layout, except instead of having straight lines of crops, there's zigzags. So on this zigzag, Renbob can get pumpkins and wheat. He can get beetroots on this one. He can also get wheat here, carrots there, potatoes on that side. We got melons growing in this little quadrant, a few more carrots here, and of course each of these little zigzags is accessible from the main causeway here, the main sort of wooden walk bridge, so to speak. We've got flags all over the show too, and a bunch of foliaging. The wall has turned out really nicely too. Of course, I've added added a bunch of detail into the wall. We got trapdoors on the top of the logs to stop spawning, and it also makes it look really cool, I think. And I was talking about framing in the previous segment, and as you can see, the wall really helps to give this farm its own area here. And just for interest's sake, one of the biggest challenges in this build was actually growing this giant oak tree. I planted an oak sapling and bone mealed it, I don't know, maybe 50 times or so to get the perfect tree, and I absolutely love how we've got this sort of bendy giant oak wood tree. This was a naturally spawned tree too, which is pretty sweet. Also spent a lot of time on the hill from which the spring water is coming. I think that turned out real nice. And we've even got some beautiful sea pickles and seagrass inside of the water itself. Of course, there's no pesticides or anything in this farm, guys, so lots of naturally occurring wildlife, I suppose, is going to be growing in the waters. And when Renbob comes out here to do his daily harvest, he's going to have to keep his toes clear of those pickles, or else he's going to get a prick, if you know what I'm saying. But yeah, guys, that is the veggie farm done and dusted. And just to give you a quick idea of how Renbob is going to be harvesting this thing, well, he's going to be coming out here, harvesting each of these crops and replanting them, and we're only going to be selling the crops that have been hand-picked from this farm in, I guess we're going to have to make a market or something like that, right, in the Hippy Commune, so that the Hermits can come and buy their vegan-friendly veggies. But yeah, beautiful build, absolutely love it. Doc, looking pretty in pink over there, my friends. What do you think about it, man? Let me know in the comment section below. And as the moon rises above our farm, giving an absolutely stunning view from this position, let's have one final look across the place, because it is time to head over to the Sahara Speedy Pines Raceway for the rest of this episode, guys. We got some amazing stuff to do out there, so strap yourselves in. It's speed time, baby. Welcome back, fellow speed freaks, to the Sahara Speedy Pines Raceway. And as you can see, a rather large amount of awesomeness has gone down around here since we were last together. And for your viewing convenience, here's a quick rundown of what has happened since the last episode. Sahara has fulfilled its end of the bargain we struck a few episodes back with a mighty fine delivery of blue ice. Thanks, Iskel. I've also installed a shiny new pit lane down the main speed straight, complete with empty garages that are ready to be bought and built up by my fellow hermits. Oh, can you smell them diamonds, my friends? Also, an epic bit of redstone designed to imitate a real racing pit stop has been programmed by Iskal and installed in Garage 1, ready for testing. And that is super exciting. That's next up in the episode, guys. But finally, I have also begun the construction of the Grand Pine Pavilion, which is going to be the main building and trophy house for our boat racing minigame. So, an insane amount of sweetness is going on over here at Sahara Speedy Pines, guys, and I gotta be honest, this is one of my favorite projects on the HermitCraft server so far this season, even though it's been one of the grindiest ones. I've actually done most of the work off camera because it hasn't been too exciting. For example, had to dig out all of this area here underneath the garages so that we can install this amazing bit of Iskal redstone into each of them. And of course, I've had to spend a bunch of time gathering the ridiculous amount of resources required to build the pavilion and the garages over there. But today, we have got some really cool things to test out. Iskal's going to come along and help us test out his pit stop over there, and we're going to be installing all of this beautiful blue ice into the track itself, because for the last week or so, and a couple of times on stream now, I've been trying to find the fastest lap around the track, and we have installed a bit of a redstone mechanism which is going to help us to time our lap as precisely as possible. But I do want to get all of the blue ice into the track first so that we can maximize the speed. But before we get our racing boots on, guys, let's spend a little bit of time here in our creative test world, and I want to show you exactly how the pit stop mechanics are going to work. This circuit was built by Iskal. It is absolutely beautiful, and we spent a lot of time together trying to figure out exactly how the pit stop mechanics are going to work. My original idea was to have some sort of a mini game for the hermits to complete in order to get out of the pits, but what Iskal and I realized is that it's just going to take a little bit too long, so we've kind of simplified it a little bit. All you're going to have to do if you're going to take a pit stop at Speedy Pines is head on into your garage, and you need to hit both of these pressure plates at the same time. What that is going to do, it's going to turn the pit stop on, and this lamp kind of signifies the workers coming out and changing your tires and fixing your car up and whatnot. And after a certain amount of time, the pit stop will release itself and you can get back into the race as fast as possible. Now, the way that Iskal's circuit handles this pit stop mechanic is rather genius. In order for the circuit to be turned on, of course, both of these pressure plates need to be pressed. If you just press one, you can see a single gold block has gone down, but the moment you press two, you initiate the circuit like so. That turns the whole thing on, and what is happening here is that we have set a certain amount of time that you have to sit in the pit stop in order for the gate to be released. That time is controlled by this little timer circuit over here, which is a dropper with 23 items in it. So 23 items must pass through this timer in order for the gate to drop. Each time one of these items successfully ticks through the circuit, we will get a flash of the redstone lamp, and that lamp will need to tick 23 times. However, the ticking of this lamp also has a bit of a random factor to it. So sometimes you will spend a longer time in the pit stop, and sometimes you'll spend a shorter time in the pit stop, and that kind of mimics the way that a real life pit stop works, right? Sometimes a pit stop is really quick, and other times one of the crew drops a tire and you get stuck in the pit stop for a while. So what Iskal has done here is he's added another timer circuit with a random chance to miss the tick up to the lamp over there, and that is simply controlled by an unstackable item within this timer clock here. So every now and then there will be a chance that the wooden axe gets sent into the hopper, and that will make one of these 23 ticks actually miss its chance to light that lamp. And we worked out that there's about an 11% chance or so for you to miss one of your ticks. So the quickest that you can get through a pit stop is 23 ticks in that timer over there, and there's an 11% chance for each of those 23 ticks to miss. So we kind of worked out that the fastest you can get through this in real life seconds is about 15 seconds. The slowest is about 25 to 28 seconds, and I think that adds a great bit of variance into the pit stop mechanics for a Speedy Pines. We also worked really hard on the feedback for the pit stop here. We want you to feel like something's happening when you are using the pit stop. This pressure plate has a different note block sound to this pressure plate, right? And they are both in harmony, as well as a final note block over there, which will trigger when both pressure plates are actually pressed. When you hear that harmonic sound, you know that you are in the correct position. And of course, with each tick of the lamp, you are hearing that sort of ding, 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 which I guess is the sound of the crew working on your vehicle. So it took me a couple of hours yesterday to rebuild this circuit on the HermitCraft server. I have no idea if I've done it properly. I need to test that bad boy out, and I can think of only one racer on this server right now who is a prime candidate to test the pit stop out. So, Iskal85, where you at, my brother? Iskal, my brother, looking sexy in the boat, bro.
It feels kind of weird to be told, you sit in the boat.
Yeah.
But here I am.
You sit in the boat.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
I've just installed your pit stop circuit into Sahara Speedy Pines Raceway.
Ooh, I liked how you saved that one. Sahara Speedy. I like that. Is it working? Please say it's working.
I don't know if it's working. I haven't tested it yet. I don't know how
okay.
it works, by the way. It looks fancy, though. So I want you to test it.
Do I just sit here, or should I? Oh,
yeah,
okay. I'm the test subject.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't know what's going on this season, but this is the second time I'm the test subject for a minigame.
Okay, so you're going to come into the pit. You're going to try hit both the pressure plates at the same time, okay?
Okay.
Oh, jeez, okay.
I'm really bad at
All
this.
right.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay.
Perfect. Hit both the pressure plates. Ding. Ding. Yep, you got the ding. Okay, awesome. Little workers are coming out. They're working on your wheels. Yeah,
okay.
They're replacing your tires.
Yeah.
You got a bit of damage on the front wing. They replaced that. Yeah, you're chilling.
Yeah, gosh, I'm chilling. Farting, having a good time. Okay.
And you're off.
It works!
You're off.
It actually works!
It actually works, dude. Oh, that's magic.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. Oh, look at you, how cute you are zooming off into the distance. Oh, perfect.
That is actually really epic. That turned out a lot better than I thought that it was going to turn out when we worked on this in a test world. Oh my goodness. That's awesome.
Yep. If you quickly come back, I'll show you where all the bits and bobs are. This is, of course, Pit Stop Circuit by Iskal Redstone Inc. You know?
I love the touch. I love the touch.
Scallium green.
This is a great way to start a new business. I gotta start an Iskall Redstone Inc.
That's what I'm talking about, baby. If you come down here,
IRS.
you'll see your beautiful circuit down here. It is magnificent. I added a bit of pimp to it. Made it look a bit nice. Yeah.
Certainly. Wow, and I can appreciate a man who takes his time to place down blocks where you place down the redstone. That's huge. Yep. Very good.
Well, it's working perfectly as planned. The skill in it is getting your boat on the double pressure plates. Then there's as I mentioned earlier, a random chance to miss the timer. You got to get through 23 ticks or whatever it's called. That's going to open the gate. So every pit stop for every hermit's going to be slightly different. Can be longer, can be shorter. Perfect, bro. You are a redstone genius, and might I add, a very handsome, sweet. Ooh. Ladies get in line, baby. Damn.
Yeah, look at that mustache.
Oh, baby, what a great feeling. The pit stop is working beautifully. A big thanks to Iskall for that amazing circuit design and for testing it out here at Sahara Speedy Pines. Next up for us is to get this blue ice onto the track. Now, what we're trying to achieve out here is to use the blue ice to show the fastest possible line that you can take around the track. And after doing a little bit of research into Formula 1 racing lines, I think I have figured out the fastest possible line that a racer can take around Speedy Pines. So I need to fill it all in with this blue ice. Hopefully we have enough. And then we can take this bad boy out for a spin and try and beat our current record that we set on stream, which is 31.5 seconds. Of course, that record was set without the blue ice, so theoretically, we should be able to beat that. Can you smell the burning rubber on the tarmac, my friends? Oh my goodness, I am excited out of my mind right now because for the very first time, we're going to be able to try and clock the fastest possible lap around the Sahara Speedy Pines Raceway. All the blue ice is in. We are ready to break some speed records, and we're going to be recording our lap in two ways. Firstly, I'm going to use a real life stopwatch, but secondly, we're going to be using a bit of a redstone contraption over here to try and find a way to time all of the Hermit's laps and thus discover the fastest Hermit on the server. Now, the way this timer works is pretty simple. We have got a line of pressure plates here on the track, and when we go over the pressure plates for the first time, we will activate the timer. The piston will push this observer block into this circuit over here, and that's done through a T flip-flop mechanism here, which I learned about this week. And while the circuit is activated, a whole bunch of golden nuggets will be transferred into this final dropper from this hopper over here. These nuggets are the representation of how much time it is going to take to get around the track, because when we come back around to complete our lap, we will hit the pressure plate again, and that will turn off the circuit, thus defining the time that it took to get around in the unit of time we're going to call nugs. Now, I'm still doing some experimenting to see whether this will in fact be the best way to time a lap at Speedy Pines, and a big thanks to everybody out there who's been sending me some redstone designs on Twitter. I really appreciate it, guys. So strap yourselves in, boys and girls. This is going to be one heck of a ride in a 3, in a 2, and in a 1. Here we go. Timer has started, and luckily I've done quite a lot of practice on live stream. In fact, we spent quite a few hours going around the track in the last live stream, and already I am missing the perfect line over here. The blue ice actually makes it a lot harder to keep on track, but we do just want to get a taster using our timer, right? We want to get an initial lap time. Oh my goodness, it is much harder now to get around this track, and hopefully we'll be able to get around the final apex and turn that timer off. There we go. That was a beautiful sector there. There we go, and as the sun is setting, let's see how many nugs it took us to get around the track. 64, 64, and 35 nugs. I'm pretty sure we can do better than that, guys, but man, that was super fun. We gotta do this again, am I right? Well, that was a pretty spicy lap, my friends. I felt like I took a great line, and we got 64, 64, 26 nugs on the timer. I don't actually know how fast we went around in real life, but I have a feeling we might have just broken the 31.5 record. I'm going to have to check it out in editing. Looks like we got some spectators in the distance over there too, so I think that's probably going to do it for my lap testing today. That's kind of a dangerous obstruction on the track, I'm not going to lie, but I'm pretty sure we can do better than 64 to 64, 26 nugs, guys, and hopefully some of the hermits out there will be inspired to come and give this a little bit of a test run. Next episode, of course, we have got a lot of work to do on the pavilion, on the garages, and of course getting this track ready to be released to the public. But that's just about going to do it from me today, guys. It has been a jam-packed episode. Oh my goodness, from Renbob's hippie farm to Iskal's pit stop. It's been a pretty crazy one, guys. Seriously, if you enjoyed it, please don't forget to hit the like button. It helps to show me you guys are enjoying the episodes, and it lets YouTube know that we're doing a good job over here. So please, guys, take a moment to smash that like button out into hyperspace, baby. And if you're enjoying the series, don't forget to subscribe, jingle jangle that freaking notification bell. Can't wait to catch you all in the next episode and to get down to some serious work out here on that pavilion. It's gonna be amazing, as Scar would say. But thank you for watching, my friends. ReNDoG signing out. We'll smell you all in the next episode.